Alright, last Impact before Turning Point. Same problems as usual. Way too much content, the matches are too damn short, blah blah blah, we've all been over that. Let's cover the bad stuff first, alright? Super Dave Osborne. This was a perfect example of why I hate the Raw guest host thing that WWE does every week. Because this was just like that. Now, granted, they at least tried to incorporate Super Dave into the show instead of having the whole show revolve around him, and they were smart enough to not put him over any of the wrestlers, but that doesn't mean that him being there was a good thing. Now, I understand Super Dave has a new show on Spike TV, you want to promote it to keep the network happy and all that, but was this really the best way you could think to use him? I mean, first you make it obvious that he knows very little about the TNA product, then you put him in multiple segments with wrestlers whose names he doesn't even know, and then you put him on commentary, and with his voice, putting him on commentary is pretty much the worst thing you could have possibly done. And I say that as a Super Dave fan. Now, was this stuff as bad as The Price is Raw or Raw's Got Talent? No, not even close. But it wasn't good either. I mean, you promoted Super Dave's new show more than you promoted Turning Point on this episode. And unfortunately, Impact being on Spike TV means that we're going to have to put up with stuff like this from time to time. Now, the second horrible thing about this show, oh my god, you bring out the thing that ate Jim Neidhart, you have him squash Jay Lethal in under 2 minutes. Do I even have to rant about this? What can I say? What can you say about something like this? I got nothing. I've got nothing. Now, I'm sure when you guys saw this, you were all expecting me to go for the screaming pillow again. And if I actually still cared about Jay Lethal at this point, I probably would. But I just don't. And that's not a knock on Jay Lethal at all. Jay Lethal's an incredibly talented athlete. I mean, if you want to pick a bunch of young stars to build your company around, Jay Lethal is one of those guys. And yes, this made him look like a joke. Yes, they completely buried him, but really, could Jay Lethal have sunk any lower at this point? They've done nothing with him for months. I mean, he's still doing the Black Machismo thing when this gimmick hasn't been over in at least a year and a half. I mean, I don't think this hurts Jay Lethal because, frankly, he's already hit rock bottom. So I'm just going to sit back and see where this thing goes. And if it's all leading up to Jay Lethal getting frustrated and pissed off and hopefully dropping the Black Machismo gimmick once and for all, then hell, I say go for it. It's not like he's got anything left to lose at this point. And the third thing that I'm going to mention is the main event. Not the match itself, although Joe versus AJ only getting 4 minutes and change was just inexcusable. But my god, I mean, TNA, when your main event of the go-home show is two of the guys that are headlining your pay-per-view in 3 days, could you please announce this match ahead of time? How can you have Joe versus AJ in the main event and not even announce it before it happens? Do you want the ratings for the 10:45 to 11 quarter hour to go down the toilet? Because that's what's going to happen. Do you realize that a big part of the reason why your ratings dip in the last segment a lot of the time is because you don't announce your main events? So people don't know what match is coming up, so they don't feel like they need to stick around to watch. Seriously, how hard is it to announce a match, build anticipation for it, and then pay it off in the main event? This is not complicated. This is simple, common sense. How the hell did you get a job writing television if you don't understand this? Alright, let's talk about some good stuff now, okay? Alyssa finally won a goddamn match. Thank you. Alright, she beat Tracy Brooks in, you know, a random match that really had nothing to do with the pay-per-view. And I was actually wondering about this, because in the spoilers, it said that this match happened before the show was taped. So I figured it was going to be like a dark match or a web match or something. But it got onto the show somehow. And I was thinking about that, and the one thing I kept coming back to was Dixie Carter's Twitter page. Because a little while ago, she sent out this tweet asking for the fans' feedback. And she asked the fans to tweet her and you know, tell her who they wanted to see more of on Impact. Basically asking who the fans wanted to see get pushed. And then she later sent out another tweet saying that she was going to make changes to the show based on the feedback she got. Now, Cheerleader Melissa has got a big following online, so if a shitload of internet fans told Miss Carter, I want to see Alyssa Flash get pushed, then maybe that's what caused this. I don't know. Oh, and by the way, if you have not tweeted Dixie Carter yet telling her who you want to see more of, what the hell is wrong with you? What are you waiting for? She's asking for the fans' feedback and changing the show based on what we want. Do you think Vince McMahon would ever do something like that? Tweet her right now. Tell her what you want to see. Next, Kurt Angle and Desmond Wolfe. This segment was outstanding. Best thing on any wrestling show I saw this week by a mile. I think TNA have just knocked it out of the park with Nigel McGuinness. I can't say enough about this. I mean, more than anything else, this is the feud that I'm watching Impact for right now. 1 month in the company, and this guy looks like he could challenge for the world title. It's been that good. I mean, he's gotten the better of Kurt Angle at every turn, and I give huge respect to Kurt Angle for making this guy look like a stud. A lot of people in his position would never do that for a new talent. In fact, out of all the matches on the Turning Point card, this is probably the one I'm most looking forward to. And unfortunately, I have to put AJ, Joe, and Daniels on that list of other matches. Not that the build-up for the main event hasn't been very good. I think it's been great when they focused on it. But they should have pushed this match way more than they have, and that's the bottom line. I mean, how much screen time did AJ, Joe, and Daniels get this week? Well, 5-6 minutes? How much screen time has AJ had since Bound for Glory? Not much. Hell, I mean, I think he's actually been de-pushed since he won the world title in No Surrender, and that's not the way it should be. AJ is the world champion. The show should revolve around him, just like the Turning Point hype should have revolved around the three-way for the world title. And that'll be it for Impact, I think. I mean, I'm not sure if there's anything else to go over. Oh, it's awesome that TNA fired some Jobber Bolt. That's fantastic. I mean, she's been stinking up the place in TNA for a year now, and she can get the hell out. I mean, that's one less reason for me to wear these. And I think they got rid of Jethro Holiday, too. That's great. Keeping him around was just pointless. He can go. And, yeah, I think that's it now. On a Turning Point. I'm not quite as high on this pay-per-view as I was a few weeks ago. I mean, they've got some potentially awesome matches on there, but there's also some matches that I really don't care about. Steiner, Lashley. I don't know if Eric Young and Kevin Nash is still on there. I sure hope not. And the 6 knockout tag match, I am just absolutely dreading right now. I mean, Lacey Von Erich is going to be on live TV. You know she's going to be botching all over the place, and they're not even going to be able to cover it up with editing this time, and I just think it's going to be a big train wreck. Having said that, I am still really excited for this pay-per-view. I mean, more than I was for Bound for Glory, actually, and that's the truth. I mean, this is probably the best pay-per-view card the TNA has had in a long time. I mean, we got AJ, Joe, Daniels 2 in the main event. I think this kind of suffered from a lack of build-up. I mean, like I said, the build-up was very good. There just wasn't nearly enough of it. But it's AJ, Joe, Daniels 2. I mean, if you're not excited for this, then you're not a wrestling fan. Now, I don't expect this to be as good as the Unbreakable 3-Way. I mean, they're all 4 years older now. Daniels is working injured, and AJ and Joe have both toned down their styles since then. So this isn't going to be the same kind of match. I think it's probably going to be a little slower paced, have fewer high spots and more psychology. But nevertheless, I think it's going to blow the roof off the place. I mean, I just hope and pray to God that they don't have Tomko run in for some bullshit overbooked finish. Kurt Angle versus Desmond Wolfe. Are you kidding me? I mean, great build-up for this one, and the match pretty much sells itself. Can't wait to see that. Amazing Red versus Homicide. I just love that we finally have a one-on-one match for the X Division title and not some big 5-man spot fest. I mean, these guys work really well together. Just give them 10 minutes or more, a clean finish, and I'll be happy. We got Tara versus Kong and the 6 Sides of Steel. You know, this match would mean a lot more if they hadn't had so many 6 Sides of Steel matches lately. And they had one on Impact. They had one at No Surrender. It's too damn many. But we finally get to see Kong and Tara one-on-one after they teased this feud for like 6 months. And it's got a big match feel to it, so I'm excited to see this. We also got the British Invasion, Motor City Machine Guns, and Beer Money for the tag team titles. I really wish Beer Money had not been added to this match. I mean, Beer Money are great, don't get me wrong, but couldn't they have just given the Machine Guns the spotlight for one pay-per-view? I mean, that makes me mad, but this will be a very good match regardless. We're also going to have 3D and Rhino versus Matt Morgan, Hernandez, and the Pope in a street fight. This should be a very entertaining match as well. So, overall, I mean, this is a really strong card on paper, and I think it's going to be a good show. So I'm definitely going to order it, Looks like TNA is really serious about this youth movement, you know, if you disregard the Jay Lethal thing. So I think they deserve a lot of buys for this pay-per-view. So I will talk to you guys after Turning Point, and, you know, crap, I'm out of time. See ya.